Hey guys, it's Elise and Rob.
As you can see, we're down here in the desert.
In the desert. We're in our pretend desert. It's our backdrop. But I don't like it because it looks like I have a cactus growing out of my head.
Ouch.
Here, scoot over, honey.
Which way?
To your right. Hey, Castine. We're trying out our new studio. All right, we're going to get right into it, you all. Thanks for hopping on today. We're excited to have you here with us live. And Rob and I are curious if you can hear us well. Also, we are curious, how long have you known us? So type in the comments how long you've known us. And because it's so fun to see who is watching the videos, how long have they been watching, like what's this impact? No, they're not tired of us. They wouldn't watch if they were. Oh, good. Larry, I got a new little mic plug-in for my iPhone, so hopefully it's working well. Anyway, let's dive right in. We want to share with you the #1 lesson that we have learned becoming millionaires, both of us in our own right in network marketing. And I was curious. I posted a post on the wall earlier. Bring your questions. We're going to have some answers for you. So if you can think of a question as you're watching, go ahead, drop it in the comments, and we will do our best to answer it for you. Also, we'll share a bit of our background. I'm a teacher by trade and was a practicing teacher for how many years? 5? 5 or so. If we include when I was teaching in Thailand, Nepal, Japan, and the United States, I would say about 5 years I was teaching professionally. How about you? You want to share your background?
My background is medicine. I was a carpenter and woodworker for a bunch of years and then decided to do the same thing on humans. So I went into PA school and first did pre-med, then PA school. 5 years of my life to become a PA.
And how much debt did you accrue during that time, my dear?
$139,000.
Yeah, 6 figures in debt for student loans.
Yeah.
That doesn't include the student loan debt we paid off before you went back to school. Right?
Yeah. Being educated costs a lot of money.
Yeah, so the crazy thing about it was when he was going back to school, I was teaching. The kids were babies in diapers. And actually we weren't even pregnant with Noah yet when you went back to school. So anyway, that I think is important to piece of this story because we had gone back sent Rob back to school to create some more financial freedom in our lives. But what we discovered,
big time debt.
Yeah, what we discovered was it created a ton of debt. And in the process, you think you're going back to school, you're getting more educated, you're going to be paid better. But the challenge then becomes, if you take on debt to do it, guess what? Now some of that check that you may have increased your income on will be going towards paying the debt down. So that's what kept me up at night, you all. I was literally sleepless nights. As we were approaching our 40s, I was 38, I think, at that time. He had already been practicing as a PA for about 6 or 7 years, and we'd been paying off very, very quickly, trying to pay off that debt. But we really weren't getting anywhere. It was kind of like we were spinning our wheels.
Here's an example. So my first job out of PA school, I had a loan repayment program through the company I worked for, orthopedic surgery company. And after 1 year of them paying $10,000 a year towards my student loans. I started off with $139,000, and at the end of that year, I owed $141,000. Well, interest,
yes. Don't forget the interest that you pay on debt. So, who can relate to that? Have you all experienced that kind of throat-clutching debt that keeps you up at night that you don't see any way out of?
That was literally sickening. Once I saw the statement at the end of the year, I just felt like, oh my God, what have we done? I know. That's
how I felt too. It was almost like you were making the same amount of money you were making when you were doing carpentry, which was $16 an hour, but we didn't have that crazy debt.
Yeah, I mean, relatively, we were only slightly better off than we were before I went back to school and took on all that debt.
Exactly. So that was keeping me up at night. It was creating a lot of stress. It was creating a lot of issues with my stomach because I was so stressed and I couldn't sleep. And then I wasn't eating well. And I was trying to figure out that, I was like, there has to be a way that we can get out of this debt. I was a teacher, and there's a cap on that income too, right? So here I was a teacher. Here Rob was as a PA. I started a jewelry business. Hello, some of you may recognize the necklace I'm wearing. But the jewelry business had overhead. I had to buy samples. Remember all this? Remember the boxes and boxes of jewelry?
I do.
We even have some videos on our YouTube channel. If you go to elisetv.com, you can see some old videos of the kids and I when they were diaper babies unpacking the jewelry.
Boxes of jewelry, boxes of papers that were for writing down by hand, customer information, including credit cards, and having all that stuff like just in boxes in our house.
Yeah, we had. The Stone
garage
Ages.
was full, yeah.
The Stone Ages of doing business. So here's what happened, you guys. I was, like I said, so stressed. I needed to change. I needed to figure out what was our lifeline. I literally Rob would go to work early in the morning, 6:30, 7 a.m. He'd have to do rounds in the morning, and then he'd often be on call. And here I am with 2 little kids and the deepest, darkest winter with the most snow Montana had ever seen. And literally like crying my eyes out. And I remember one morning, so I walk into the kitchen, and my routine was I'd make a triple shot latte. Anyway, I got into the kitchen that day and made that latte, and I literally dropped to my knees on the kitchen floor and just prayed. I was like, God, use me. What is it that I'm meant to do? This is clearly not what we're meant to be doing and the life we're meant to be living, because I literally felt like I was suffocating, and the debt was the problem. My health was a problem. Our relationship was at stake as well, because we never saw each other, and we were arguing a lot about money. I mean, it was not a pretty time. So I had that aha moment of, trust me. That's what God said. And at that time, there was this beautiful song that some of you may know called You Were Made to Thrive by the Casting Crowns. And I had that song memorized, and I was always playing the words in my mind. And anyway, I went onto Facebook that day, because what does everyone do when they're super bummed out and crying all the time? They're looking for maybe a little happiness. So I would hop onto Facebook and watch cute kitten videos. And that's what I did that morning as I'm drinking my triple shot latte, and right across my Facebook newsfeed, I learned about the Thrive experience. Now, do you see the connection? The song that I loved was You Were Made to Thrive. The Thrive experience flashed across my newsfeed as I'm watching these cute kitten videos, and I'm just like, whoa, okay, this is it. There must be something to this. I didn't think I would sell it. Instead, I thought I would take the Thrive experience and feel better. And if I felt better, then I would create my own business. And I had all kinds of ideas about the different businesses I would create, didn't I? Mm-hmm. Name some of them.
Where do I start?
Well,
specifically, honestly, I don't even remember.
You don't.
We've always been.
We've
always had lots of
catering.
ideas.
I wanted to do catering.
Yeah.
I wanted to have my own restaurant, but then I didn't want to be gone all the time.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the problem is with all these different ideas, there was always something that held us back, which sort of leads us at this point to what was the biggest secret or the biggest thing. And it's really, I mean, just being open to ideas and open to opportunities. If she hadn't been open at that point in time to whatever, the universe was providing her, then we would have never gotten introduced. As much as I thought this was all a bunch of BS in the beginning, I was also open to, some sort of opportunity, whether it was financial or just, to feel better,
right.
Through the products as well. And so really, I mean, it's sort of multi-part, but, for those who are just starting off, be open, have your mind open to the possibilities, to opportunities. We've always thought differently about things. We've always sort of thought outside the box and not done everything by the books. It wasn't until we started doing things by the books, which involved going back to school, buying a house, having all this debt, that we really started to realize that it wasn't what we wanted to do, and it made us unhappy, not happy.
Right.
It was the status quo. So that's one part of it, is be open. The other part is, people talk about they want to change this, they want to change that, and it could be a financial change, it could be a physical change, health and wellness. Really, it just comes down to start now. What are you waiting for? You can come up with all kinds of excuses of why you haven't done it yet, what you're waiting for, why it isn't a good time. But ultimately, the time is now. If you have a goal, just go after it and start working towards it at this point, because inertia builds, energy develops, you start to learn, the ins and the outs of whatever it is you're trying to accomplish.
No, momentum builds, inertia stops.
We'll get to physics after this. Anyway, it's really important that if you just take that first step.
Yes.
It's kind of like, imagine you're walking downhill. The first step builds the momentum to bring you downhill, and pretty soon you're jogging, pretty soon you're running, and then you can't keep up. And it's this analysis paralysis that we call it, that you've maybe heard the term, but that's what keeps so many people from fulfilling their dreams, from actually living them. And there's always mental blocks there as well. I mean, a lot of people don't feel like they deserve to have success, or that they're smart enough, or that they have the right capabilities. But
they know enough people.
You can learn stuff. You can learn on the fly. I mean, I didn't know anything about network marketing when I started.
I didn't know anything either when I started.
She didn't when she started.
No, I had to learn.
Yeah, and
I was committed to the process.
There are so many opportunities. There are so many resources. The internet, books, all different types of people you can use as mentors. And there's just literally an infinite amount of information, more than you could even. Sorry, there's something that keeps popping up. More than you could ever digest. So it's really important to just cut through the noise, start somewhere, but the key is just to start. To start,
yes, absolutely. And here's the thing. Failing forward, right? That literally means you are taking action, because being just stuck and doing nothing, that's not going to create the life of your dreams. That's simply being stuck and perpetuating the place that you've been. So remember this, as you're moving into creating this life that you love by design. Like, we get to travel, we homeschool our kids, we get to be together. Like tonight we're going out on a date. Like, I'm so excited. I love our life. And we've made the decision to create it together, right? So we made the decision. And here's the thing too, I started out with the vision. He didn't have the vision that I had.
No.
And yet, as my partner, was committed to encouraging me to go for my dreams. And in turn, then got on board with seeing how this did create the life of our dreams, and we would do it together. And that's why he retired.
That open-mindedness.
Exactly. So he was able to retire from being a physician assistant. Now, here's the thing. When you've made the decision that you're taking action, well, it starts with, you got to get organized. Like, I live in a state of organized chaos. In fact, we're standing here in my office, and next to us is a pile that's literally 3 feet high, no joke, of things. Rob's just like, oh my word. He's my total opposite, right? And I'm like, I don't know, how do you even describe me? I don't even know. It doesn't matter. But the truth is, I take action like that, like really. Like, sometimes he looks at me and he's like, I don't know how you've created this with the type of brain that you have, right?
Well, it's just hard for me to fathom, because the level of organization that you have is totally different than the level of organization I have. And so that's not a bad thing.
I'm like a toddler versus someone who's PhD genius.
She's more, I'm not going to say autistic, artistic about things. And she has a finer sense for, just opportunity in general than I do. I don't know, maybe it's my upbringing or the way that I was trained in medicine. You're trained to be pretty conservative with decision making, and so that definitely probably carried over into my personal life. But we can use those things to complement each other, and we often do. I mean, have grown a ton and continue to grow as a result of Elise's influence on me, and she's maybe getting a tiny bit more organized as a result of my influence.
Well, this isn't proof of that.
It's a step.
I know. At least it's all pushed into one corner.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so here's the deal. I'm a visionary and I take action, right? Rob's organized and he's a supporter and he cheers me on. And so that's part of our tip for creating the life that you love by design, is who is it in your life that influences you. because you're going to be the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. Whether you're talking to that person, you're watching their videos, you're reading their books, whatever it is. And if you have someone in your life that's super negative and very doubtful and slamming down on your dreams right now, just go to them and say, listen, I have a vision for what it is that I'm going to create here, and you may not be on board with the big picture vision right now, but all I need from you is just your support. And if you can't say something encouraging, then just say nothing. Because the truth is, if you've got a big vision and you're going for it, and somebody's always in your ear going, wah, 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 that's a bad idea, then you call them out on it. I mean, and still today with Rob and I, like, I can't even remember, I had an idea just the other day, and I mentioned it to him, and his first thing was, but, da-da-da-da-da. And I was like, because he does that. Like, he wants to just be realistic, and I'm like, I don't need realistic. I just need go for it, honey, because I'm gonna be the person that makes stuff happen, right?
And she always is.
It's a good thing. So part of our number one tip for you then is, who are you surrounding yourself with, right? Think about that.
It can be something as simple as, people you see on Facebook, social media. It can be family, and putting up barriers. Those are conversations we've had to have with family, and sometimes you just have to tell them, look, the energy that you're providing to us, it's not beneficial. Yeah. You're welcome to your opinion, but keep it to yourself. And through the years, we've cultivated a relationship or relationships with family, friends, just people we know around the community that are positive. Yeah. And those people who we don't feel like we can achieve that with, they're not part of our friends and family anymore. Yeah. Not that we've cut any for family out, but no. You know what I mean?
You just end up spending less time with the dream stealers.
Yeah. Yeah, because there's going to be a lot of people on your way to action, whatever that looks like for you, who are going to try and talk you out of it. And maybe it's they think it's in your best interest to do so.
Yeah, they're protecting you.
Yeah, they're protecting you. They're trying to keep you from making a mistake. But, oftentimes all they're doing is they're scared and they don't have the guts to try something like that themselves. And so they're trying to talk you out of it. And
so that reminds me. Okay, so remember when I told you all that he retired from working as a physician assistant? So already we were millionaires in network marketing with our company. And when you went to your work and told them we had just spent a week in Hawaii and we had a vision for how we wanted to spend a month or 2 months in Hawaii, warm places, and what did they say to you when you told them you were resigning?
They told me I was making a big mistake, number one. Yeah. Number two, they told me that if and when, more likely, I had decided to come back begging for my job, that it would be available if it hadn't been filled.
But they were using, one of the doctors used an even more colorful phrase with you.
Yeah, which I probably can't say it on Facebook.
No, you can't.
Anyway, yeah, there was scarcity mindset. There was a lot of negative thought. I mean, they could have been right, but who cares? What's the worst that could have happened? Right. I did have to come back with my tail between my legs, and I asked for my job back, or I found a different job. I mean, there's plenty of jobs out there. I can go to work in any city pretty much in the country as a PA. There's a high demand. I knew that. So, what did I have to lose, really? All I had to lose was potentially a few months of income as we tried to do this. But at that point, I'd already replaced my income, which was, that was, again, my scientific mind. Safety thinking.
Well, and here's what's crazy is even in that year prior to you resigning from your job as a PA, we had already out-earned in network marketing what he would have earned in a career as a PA. Yeah. Already.
Yeah, and that was the scary thought was I liked being a PA. There are times that I miss it, but I was looking at this, the opportunity that we had in front of us with network marketing. And I was looking at my paychecks from my current job, and I was thinking, holy cow, I'm going to be doing this for the next 15 years just to pay off my loans, my student loans. And I was on an accelerated repayment program. Yep. And then it was going to be another 15 years before I even was able to, start really building any sort of retirement. I basically would have had to work till I was about 70. Yeah. Which wasn't a really attractive thought to
Which
me.
then, even then, had you worked until that point, we wouldn't have probably had more than $1 million saved for retirement.
Well, probably not. And it would have all been in the stock market, and you know, there's no guarantee in that.
Right. It's crazy out there.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, honestly, like when I started with this, the idea was that I was going to make a little bit of extra money on the side and hopefully pay off my student loans just that much quicker.
Yeah.
But, you know, ultimately, again, it was just being open to an opportunity, and it was, you know, looking for ways to diversify, to get some passive income, to get a second income, and you just never know what it's going to be. And so don't let those thoughts of, well, gosh, what if this or what if that, and the buts, don't let those things keep you from making a decision that could change your life.
Absolutely. And once you made that decision, each of you, well, and I'm going to ask you, if you're watching this right now, have you made the decision about your life and what you want to create? Or are you just sort of on that hamster wheel of life and what's expected of you? If you've made your decision, please drop a comment in the comments below, because we want to see, what are you committed to? What's that vision? What do you want to experience in your life? And if you shut your eyes and you just feel in your heart, what is it that you want to experience in this lifetime? Think about 10 years from now. Think about 5 years from now. What do you want to be feeling? My guess is you want to be feeling peace, love, joy, financial freedom, and what did I leave out? Anything? Health and wellness, probably.
Yeah, I mean, look at your life as it is now and compare it to the life that you know, have wanted for yourself.
Yeah.
What you grew up thinking about, what you thought about when you were in college, before you had all these things that tied you down. You can still do all these things. You can still live that dream life. And it doesn't have to be necessarily even one that's, you know, brings in a bunch of money.
Yeah.
For Elise and I, when we got married, we wanted freedom. We wanted to be able to travel. We wanted opportunities to, you know, if we were going to have children, to spend a lot of time with them and raise them the way that we wanted, educate them the way that we wanted.
Yeah.
And we're doing that. And whether we were making the kind of money we're making now in network marketing, or we were making my carpenter's salary, it wouldn't have mattered. I mean, it doesn't make you any happier per se. What makes you less happy is living a life that people think you ought to live, and so that's why you do it, as opposed to truly living the life of your dreams.
Yes, really, that is true. Living the life that you should live, or living the life that you design. You pick.
Yeah, and people, and we experience this, so I mean, I'm speaking from experience. People may tell you again that it's a bad idea, no, you shouldn't do this because of this reason and that reason, but you know what? Whether you make it or not, eventually that's going to go away.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, our friends and family thought we were nuts at first, but we did it anyway. And ultimately, they have to respect the life that you're choosing for yourself and what your goals are.
Yeah.
You know, they're yours. They're no one else's. They're your family goals. They're your relationship goals. It's what makes you happy at the end of the day. It's what makes you tick as an individual. And if that means that you're making less money so that you can go ride your bike every day, then if that makes you happy, great.
Yeah. Whatever. I mean, that's the truth. Your dream is unique to you. It's not necessarily what we have done and created. But I can say that even watching right now, we have a lot of people on here that have made a commitment to design their lives rather than to live their life according to our cultural conditioning, and which is what we see, you know, from throughout schooling and like our family. You hear it from families, you hear it from media. Like, it's what you should be doing, right? Right? So if you have already what am I trying to say? If you've already leapt off the cliff and started to just trust that it's going to fall into place, we're really proud of you.
Yeah, it's empowering. I mean, really, seeing all the people who are commenting on this live stream, you know, we see a lot of people who have been with us on this journey and are in various stages of doing what we've done. And again, it doesn't matter if you do what we've done. It matters if you live the life that you want to live. So to see that, it's awesome. It's inspiring.
Yeah.
And those people that I mentioned that, you know, we've sort of moved away from in our lives, not that we dislike them and aren't friends, we just, we're not inspired by them. Those are the people who are afraid to do things like this. They're afraid to take that step, or they look at us negatively because we've done it. And instead, we want to surround ourselves with people like you who are watching, people who have that desire, who have already taken that first step, or who are just about to, and that fire is burning inside of them.
Yeah, 100%. And that like, for example, I just saw Trisha comment.
Mm-hmm.
So Trisha, shout out. Trisha, you all, she and I met when she was starting her business and I was starting my business in Billings, Montana, a town of 100,000 people. No, there were very few thrivers in our entire state. And Trisha owned a hair salon and loved the product. So she decided she was going to jump. And she made that commitment to just learn and grow along the way. Guess what? She's a millionaire now. Because she made the commitment to herself and the commitment to her dreams. She was no longer available to just go to work every day and not take the opportunity that was before her to create the life that she deserved.
And she has created that life, and we've been able to watch that happen, where she's totally changed the outcome of her family's life, and it's been amazing.
It is incredible.
That kind of thing never gets old.
No. And so anyone watching, you are in a time that has never been seen before in history, because we have an opportunity to reach so many people via the internet, through social media. There's a lot of people out there that use social media to just complain and whine about the way things are and how it sucks. And, they'll produce posts or videos that go viral just so they can make some money. Listen, you're doing something that you're passionate about that changes people's lives. And I don't care what product you represent. If you're building your own business, you are affecting people in a way that simply wasn't possible in the past, because we are so interconnected using social media. So write that down. Use social media for good. Make a commitment that you're going to serve others, you're going to be spirit-led, that you're going to operate from your heart. Return to love is one of our favorite mottos in this team, because it is a representation of you returning to the person that God designed you to be, to create whatever it is that you're meant to create in this world. While you're here, life is so short. We don't have time for drama. We don't have time for gossip. We don't have time to complain about the weather. And I know that once you make the commitment, you're not available for that anymore, right? Remember, those negative people don't pay your bills. Once you're not available for that anymore, you actually have the space to create what it is you're meant to create.
It's true. There's plenty of people who are occupying that space of trolls and people who are negative all over the internet. I mean, those people, is that what you want to be? Just think about, and this is true in terms of psychology circles, and there's a lot of evidence about this. If you change your thought patterns from being negative to being positive, there's a lot of really positive things that will occur as a result of that. And these things are cumulative over time, and your body, basically, you can rewire your brain to have different circuit patterns that continue to manifest as positivity and make it easier and easier to think positively, to do things for people, to help people. And so really just start with the very small action of eliminating all of the negative stuff from your life, whether it's people, whether it's thoughts. Just no haters, I see. Yeah, exactly. We don't have time for that. I mean, there's no point in it, and it doesn't help anybody.
No.
So, really just start to identify those things and those people in your life that aren't really helping you get anywhere, and look for new people that you can not necessarily replace them with, but add to your sphere of influence who are positive. And that could be, again, books, it can be mentors, it can be people online, it can be podcasts. I mean, we basically, I still listen to music, but I would say 75% of the stuff that I listen to during the day, and I listen to a lot of stuff, it's all stuff that's going to help build me up. It's going to increase my positivity. It's going to increase my knowledge about whether it's network marketing or health and wellness or whatever interest I have. I don't waste time. We don't watch TV. We don't do anything that's not productive.
We've never had a cable subscription or even an antenna that brings in a signal. I don't even know how to operate remote controls when I travel or there's a remote control in the hotel.
Yeah, I mean, you have all this time and all this energy and all this opportunity to make yourself a better person.
Yes.
Use it.
Yeah, 100%. So we thank you so much for tuning in. Rob and I have decided that we want to make regular videos for you all. Right?
Yeah.
Well, Once again, I had an idea and he's running with it. But basically, I was telling him today, you know what, honey? I was like, honey, we need to get you more on video. He's like, why? And I go, because you are an expert in so many different things. And people are always asking me, what does Rob think? What did Rob say? And so I would love, right? Would you all love that if he and I did videos together? And if you would love it, we need a name for it. I was thinking prime time with Rob and Elise, but that's not very exciting sounding. So if you think of a good name and we use it, we're sending you a gift. So drop your ideas below. And if you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment and let us know how much you enjoyed it on a scale of 1 to 10. 10 being absolutely love, 1 being why did I waste my time?
It could use some more work.
Yeah. And also please do share this, because we know what we share from the heart for the good of so many people out there. And we just want you all to create your best life, because here's what I've learned. When everyone comes to the table and uses the gifts that they've been given and shares it from their heart from an abundant place, not from a grabby, like, scarcity, I'm
Hold
jealous.
Don't share because they may take something of mine.
Yeah, so totally. We always share abundantly. I never get upset if somebody copies what I'm doing, or you know what I'm saying? Like, there's no scarcity mindedness here. And I'm just excited for you, each of you, to tap into what it is that you're gifted in. And if we can light any fire in you about what that is, then we've met our goal, which is to help you be your best. And we're not like some weird network marketing couple that's trying to poach people's teams. I'm just going to throw that out there, because there are people out there like that.
We're not trying to sell you any product.
No, we're not trying to do any of that. We're just speaking from our own experiences about who we are and how great we know you are, and we believe in your potential. And if you're not there yet, we hope that you'll learn a little bit from our stories.
We've been able to create this life for ourselves, and it's not that hard, really. So we're hoping that we can be an example for other people, whether it's individuals or couples or whatever, families, so that they can do the same thing. And we're happy to help you. We're happy to mentor you and talk you through the steps, positive and negative, forward and backward, that we had to take to get here.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it's totally worth it.
And I'm so committed to our network marketing team and building this brand company-wide. You know, all of us are in this together, whether you're in our network or not. I'm so committed to that I turn away people who come to me for coaching. They would pay me $25,000 for coaching, and I turn them away because I'm so committed to each of you.
Yeah, I mean, we've gotten a ton out of our relationships that we have with our teams. They're awesome people. We love working with them. So, yeah, it's worth more than money.
Absolutely. Anyway, thanks you all for showing up on this live stream today. Stay tuned. I don't know how often we'll do this.
I don't either.
Whenever we feel prompted, because I'm the one who's like, I have an idea, let's go live. He's probably the one that plans ahead, so maybe it will be pre-scheduled. Because
and if there are things in that notion that you want us to talk about, drop a line. Yeah,
I mean, we can even talk to you about how a couple can be on the brink of divorce and then come back from it. Really, we can. We can talk about the intimacy issues, the problems that can happen when the wife starts to out-earn the husband, and like the underlying stuff you have to navigate. I mean, these are real things. And we can talk about all that. Yeah. So whatever it is that you're interested in, just drop a comment below. And
my brother's watching from Mexico. What's up, Jeff?
Hi. So yeah, if whatever it is that you are interested in, just drop a comment. Click the share button if you found this valuable, and hopefully we left you with a little bit of inspiration.
Yeah, thanks for joining us and staying with us for the whole video.
Yay! We'll end it with a kiss.
Bye-bye.
Bye. I love you guys.